Hi, everybody. Welcome back at Inside the Designers Studio. And this is our episode 9. And here I have the best guest ever. And that is my friend Elliot Goldman from Mending Wave. Hi, Elliot. How are you?
Hi, Veronica. Welcome back.
Welcome back. We're catching up after Munich, right? So you went to Munich. I couldn't go. I'm going to share with you the reason is that I am honored that I am a new American citizen. Okay.
Oh, congratulations.
Yes, it's an honor. And unfortunately, my passport didn't arrive on time. And the second thing I have to share about it is I'm very disappointed because I thought that as soon as I became an American, my accent was going to go, and it hasn't gone anywhere. It's here.
Well,
Seriously, welcome back. Tell us all about what you saw at the Munich High End. I had very interesting conversations with friends who exhibited there, but tell me your take.
Well, first of all, I want to welcome you back. For our viewers that didn't know, you were traveling in Hawaii. You suffered mightily and had to go to Hawaii and suffer with all that beautiful weather and great food and sunshine, but you're back. And and by the way, your accent is adorable, and just like you have yours, you can take the kid out of New York, but you can't take New York out of the kid. So years that I've been, more than almost 30 years I've been out of New York, I know that I still have part of that accent. So let's talk about Munich. And first of all, I wanted to say hi to all our viewers and subscribers, and just a little housekeeping news. I mean, Veronica was away, I was away at the show, trying to get guests to come at this point in time when people are traveling and vacations and whatever was difficult. Having said that, we have some of the foremost designers in the industry lined up, and hopefully we will get them all on quote unquote tape over the summer, trying to meet with vacation schedules. And I promise you that we have some really interesting and amazing guests that are coming up. So it was great, first of all, to travel out of the US for the first time in almost 3 years. It was different than before. For those of you who haven't done this, I flew Lufthansa from Miami to Frankfurt, and then from Frankfurt to Munich. And you have to wear a mask on the plane, which makes no sense to me at all, since you don't have to wear it in the airport, and you don't have to wear it anywhere in Germany, but on a Lufthansa plane, you have to wear a mask. And making travel plans, I will just tell any of you who are doing this, it's really a nightmare. And I'll just tell the story a little bit. I booked my flight online because that's really the only way you can kind of do it. And in the middle of them processing my credit card, it dropped out. So I didn't know whether my trip was confirmed or not confirmed, whether I paid for it, I didn't pay for it. So I'm trying to get back to it, couldn't get back to it, trying to find a customer service number, which I finally did. And I made 26 or 27 calls to their customer service hotline and held on for each time at least 15 minutes with nobody ever answering the phone. And then I decided in my commute to go home, which is about 40 minutes, I would try it. And in the middle of traffic on the way home, I finally got a person that could find my itinerary that wasn't booked and book my flight.
Wow.
So I think part of the COVID fallout is the death of customer service all over the place. You know, you call a number and you don't even know if there's anybody there to answer the phone. You're on hold. Hey, we appreciate your call. They play some music that repeats every 45 seconds and nobody answers. So it's not very much fun. And by the way, that also happened to me on my trip back, but I'll get to that.
Oh, no.
So anyway, I got to Germany, and it was great to see, to go to MOC. And for those of you who haven't been there, this is by far and away the best audio show on the planet. I'm not knocking any of the ones that happen here in the US, because I think they're great, that this is like Expona, but the size of CES. And if you like high-end audio, this is fantastic. Now, maybe the ones in Asia are good too. I don't know. I've never been. But Munich is, MOC stands for the Munich Order Center. And it's a really modern kind of aluminum and glass building. And there are multiple halls there. And this was really designed, this building, for the fashion industry. And so this year they had, I think, about 20% less than the last time I was there, but they had almost, and please don't hold me to the exact numbers, around 20,000 people that came, about half of which are trade and the rest is general public. So Thursday and Friday is the trade, and Saturday and Sunday they open to the public. And it was just amazing to see the energy and how, I think, excited most of the people in the industry were to be back. And I didn't plan on working the show. For me, this is more of a go see and try and find some additional things for my business. It didn't work out that way. So I actually ended up working most of the show in the Gerbil room, helping out, which was great. We had a fantastic room, a bunch of really good comments online, which I'm not going to repeat. And one thing I will mention is that Oliver introduced a new product called the Divin Sovereign, which is an 18-inch powered, controllable from your seat. And again, I won't get it.
Huge one.
And it sounded in that room fantastic. And I was thrilled. I also got the opportunity, for as long as I'm talking about it, Gerbil announced and took a bunch of people to their new home. They built from scratch a new building about 60 kilometers out of Munich. I guess it's about 45-minute or 50-minute drive at 1,000 miles an hour that they drive in Germany. And it's a really cool building. And for anybody that will be going to Munich next year, we'll have tours going from the Munich show, maybe in the evening, I don't know exactly. There'll be 2 state-of-the-art sound rooms, and all of their production facility and all of that is there. And that should be fully functional and operating this fall. So a lot of exciting stuff there. As you walk around Munich, there are basically, it's like an atrium, and in the center they have a restaurant, the seating area, and then they have kind of like a horseshoe shaped where they have these rooms around the side, and there's 2 of these sections. This time only 1.5 of them were full. There's 2 floors of seriously high-end stuff. I mean, you name the brand, I'll give you an idea. For example, there was Wilson showed for the first time for me the Wilson XXV in one room, the Alex 5. I think they had a couple pairs of those or whatever. I think there was an Alexia 2. Magico had rooms. Obviously, Gerbil, Karma, Cesaro, Avant-Garde, and a bunch of others. I mean, I can't remember all of them, but I got a chance to finally hear the Wilson XXVs. I finally got a chance, Stenheim. I finally got a chance to listen to the Dartzeal electronics, which I've had heard in the customer's house, but got to see them at the show. But for me, the most important part and the fun part was all the people. I mean, you get the chance to really see all the European people and that don't necessarily make it to the shows, a bunch of the Asian people which don't necessarily come to the shows, and a bunch of people that I know from the forum. So it was really fun. And
did you meet Alan Parsons?
No, I saw him. He walked by our room with an entourage, and by the time I realized it was him, I kind of ran out the door. I wanted to say hello because I'm a huge fan of Alan Parsons, but no, I did not get a chance to see him.
And so for you, for the rooms that you got to experience, what is that was done better, and what is that you would tell other manufacturers it's a good idea for their rooms if they want to be in the Munich High End?
Well, I think it's really hard to get a room there.
Oh, I know.
Downstairs, they have like an open convention center.
Uh-huh.
Have a lot of these things, they call sound cabins, where
I know.
if you can't get a room upstairs, because it's really very hard to get those rooms, there were people that have like, it's like a portable house that they put down on the floor, and they make pretty good sound. Like Borenson and Avik were down there, and
Yes, I do group Denmark.
their new speaker and their new electronics from
Avik.
yeah, I'm trying to remember the name of the designer who came to work for them that used to work for Griffin.
Oh, you mean Fleming?
Yeah, oh yeah, right, Fleming Rasmussen. Thank you. He used to be one of the designers of the Griffin product, and he's now.
And now he works with Michael Borison in collaboration.
Michael Borenson. I actually got invited to a Borenson Avik Anzus dinner at this restaurant, Uber, I think.
They're a lot of fun, those dinners.
Yeah, they like to drink, those guys. And it was funny for me. I only had German food once this whole trip. Goebbels also had dinners, bringing people out to their factory. So I obviously went to that. And we went to a restaurant. Oliver likes these very German looking, old school kind of places, but this was not German food. It was, I don't know what I would call it, just nouvelle cuisine kind of thing. And we had some wonderful dinners. Also coming back from Germany, you have to get a COVID test, which was fortunate that I had a friend that speaks German, because the only way to get a COVID test is to go one of these places, like a portable building in the middle of a parking lot, and scan it on your phone, and then fill out the document on your phone and make an appointment. And all of that was in German, no English. So, and I was really hoping that I didn't fail the COVID test, because the last thing I wanted to do was spend 10 more days alone in a hotel in Germany,
Hey, well, I also wanted to give a special mention. Other friends that were there that did a great job were Think Team. They were with the Borg, which was in 2019. It was in the poster of the Munich High End. They introduced a new brand, Epos, as part of the Think Team family, with the Borg and the Kim. Lane was there. Also, Creek Audio was presenting there. And I want to give a special mention to Chroma Audio from Spain. For those of you who aren't familiar with Chroma is getting stronger and stronger. They had presence both in the Munich High End and the Hifideluxe. And they presented with Wadax. They presented also with Calista.
They got a lot of mention for some of the best sound at the show also.
Yes.
I did not get a chance to go to their room, because Hifideluxe works on banker's hours, and excuse me a second. And for me, staying at that hotel and then having to be at the other place, I tried to go in the morning, and they opened at 10 one day and 11 the other, and I couldn't make it.
And the show finishes before the Munich High End. So yes, when you go there, you have to be intentional. And it's a nice parallel show. The reason why that show exists is because it's so difficult to find a new space in the Munich High End. It's really, really difficult. That's why they created a Hifideluxe.
They did show with Wadax and Griffin, and a lot of people said they had really great sound. Wadax was all over the show. They had 5 different rooms there, including a room with audio research in Wilson Benesh. They were also using it in the avant-garde room, and Chroma and Robert Coda also used Wadax. And in our room, we used that. We were also with Chroma, and a brand of electronics that I would recommend people keep in their minds, because I think they're going to see it in the US very shortly, is a brand from Greece called True Life Audio. And I had never really listened to it very much. I know that they had worked with Kronos to help them make for them the phono section that Kronos uses in its full analog solution, and also using in its Discovery turntable. But they have, I think it's new. I won't swear that my information is correct, but they had a new statement series, which is a full tube preamp and a hybrid monoblock that we used in the Gerbil room. And the sound we had in that room with both the Kronos and the Watt-Ax was, I hate using this because I don't want to sound like I'm selling anything, but it was the best sound that we've ever had at any show. Now, whether that was the combination of the speakers and the subs and the cable and the electronics and the turntable, they being in the same room for a bunch of years and having a product, because the smaller speakers are a little easier to set up quickly than a big one. But I thought we had amazing sound. I will talk about the show. I do want to talk about the show a little bit. I think that audio has become very tribal, and it's like the world. And it seems to me that this is not all great. And what I mean by that is that I think too many people make up their mind about what they're going to like and what they're going to hear before they go to see something. Now, I tried to go to all the rooms, and I always try to go with an open mind. And I've heard good stuff from certain manufacturers and not good stuff. I know how hard everybody works at a show, and I know how much effort it is. And so I would never say that this was awful or this was garbage or this was trash. Obviously, there is two points I want to make. Number one, building and designing and selling a good product is a completely different skill set than being able to set up a system and get incredible sound. And
that's right.
Not every person that designs gear has the ability to set up a system. And it's not counterintuitive, it's not counterproductive, it's just a reality. It's a different skill set. Just because you can build a piano doesn't mean you can play in Carnegie Hall. And just because you can build a race car doesn't mean you're going to win at the Indy 500. And I think some of that is true here. So going around the show, and Munich does a better job of it than anyway. First of all, if you look at the pictures, the rooms are finished. I mean, it's not like when we do the shows here and we have a couple of hours to set up and you put some plants and curtains and try to hide everything. I mean, there's some beautifully designed rooms, beautiful signage and light, because they get to go into the MOC on Monday and the show doesn't start till Thursday. So they have a little bit more time to do it. And also their rooms are impossible to get. So once you got a room, you don't give it up. And maybe your first year you learn from it. Like, you know, I know that we learned from being at CapFest last year and now at Expona again this year. And I'll know next year what to do to improve my result.
Yeah.
And I'm already planning for that. So I think sometimes the things that people might read or see are unfair. And that's my second point, and I'll explain it this way. It's nice when you have a really good result. It's nice when you get recognized as, say, having one of the best sounds at the show. But that doesn't mean because somebody didn't do it, didn't mean they didn't work hard. It just may mean that their skill set is not getting the system set up. And perhaps also there is a lot of business type decisions that are made at a show, and those business decisions may or may not work in favor of producing a good sound. What I mean by that is that the cost of a room is relatively expensive, and there are times like, for example, I'll talk for me. If Bending Wave rents a room or hires the room at the show, a lot of times it would be nice if I had an electronics partner and maybe an analog partner and maybe a digital partner to offset the room and put them together. And I think there are a lot of people that do that. That smorgasbord that they're putting together financially may sound good, but may not end up being a great system when it's put together.
Talk about synergy.
Right, and there may not be synergy. And also, perhaps those people, when they come together, really can't work that well together to get this thing to sound the way that they want.
What is the challenge? What
I'll
is
give you an example. We did Cap Fest for the first time last year. I'd never been to that hotel. The first time I saw the room was the day that I walked in. I mean, I
Yeah.
saw the pictures. So we're a relatively small company. We drive to the shows when we can, basically because we have more control of when everything comes there. And also it's more affordable. I mean, to be honest with you, shipping is prohibitively expensive, and the time restraints, and it's heavy and it's big. So there's only so much stuff we can fit in our truck. Okay. So when we go there, if we run out of room, the things that we don't bring are big room treatments and things like that, because I need the speakers and I need the amplifier and I need the cables and I need the cabinets and I need, in order to make it work. So,
and the marketing material also heavy.
and some of that too. So when we get there, we're then trying to learn the room and solve some of the problems of the room, and with the tools that we may have available. We may have a little bit of room treatment. We may have some plants, okay? And for the last two shows that I did, I've learned, because I had forgotten Exponent, it was so long ago before we did it, that I needed more than I had. So I have some plans. I'm already building something, and I'll order different things for the show, maybe some drapes and more plants and stuff like that that I can get from the show rather than bringing with me. I'm working on a project with Art Novian to hopefully build something that I can collapse and use for shows. And I think that's really important. So, for example, I'll use Gerbil at the show because I'm familiar with it. They've been in that room for a very long time. I don't know how many years, but I think at least 8. And so they have built, that they use in their showroom now, a wall and some acoustic type things with signage and colors and all the rest of that stuff that they can collapse and put in their vehicle or trucks and bring it to MOC and set it up. Karma, which I think is a Danish company, I think they're from Denmark. When you go in there, you think you're in Prada or Gucci or Chanel. If you look it up at the show, they have beautiful custom-made diffusers and leather and furniture and cabinets, all part, which is all theirs. Okay, it's not like they don't use other companies. They make Karma cabinets and Karma amplifiers and Karma room treatments and Karma furniture and Karma rugs, and it's really spectacular. They do a really beautiful job of doing it, and I think that's great. I think that our industry does need to pay a little bit more attention to what high end means and being high end all the way through. It's one of the reasons some of the products I handle, I'm involved with, is that I feel that these companies get it, that high end doesn't mean just making an expensive widget. It's the packaging and the marketing and the service and the sound, obviously, and the customer service and the function and all of that is got to come together to produce, and I'm going to use a word that I'm going to put in quotes, a perfect product. And obviously nothing is perfect, but you want to get as close to perfect as you possibly can, because when you're asking somebody to spend large amounts of money, and that obviously depends on the person, but a lot of our business is multiples of $10,000 today and up, that their expectations are very high.
I'd like to ask you also about the music. You can actually build a playlist with the most popular songs that everybody's playing. What is your take on that?
I hate that.
Just tell me, who was the most played? Who, like what band? Or
in our room we had Kronos, which is an analog turntable and a really good product. And so I didn't plan on really playing DJ, but we had the Wadax, and I was the only one there that's familiar with it because Javier and his staff was busy doing 5 rooms. So we streamed the whole show. And I put together a playlist. Now, me personally, there are a bunch of audiophile music that I refuse to play. I'm not going to play, Hotel California, and I'm not playing Can't Stand the Weather, and I'm not playing Famous Blue Raincoat, and I'm not playing Keith Don't Go, and I'm not playing those things because I'd kill myself. I mean, I don't know how many pieces of music in the world, but like, why people have to listen to the same 5 or 6 cuts. And I try and find a variety of stuff, obviously, that sounds good on the system. I don't like audiophile music at all. I try not to use any of it. And I don't want to offend anybody, but really great really great recordings of lousy performances and lousy music really doesn't do it for me. But if I had only walked in there and they were playing whatever, Donna Summer or whatever, I wouldn't have taken it very seriously. It's just me, somebody else might have. And that's why I'm suggesting that if you go to a show and it's a product you don't know, or it's a product that you really have interest in, either hopefully they have the time to play different pieces of music while you're there, which doesn't always happen depending on how many people are, or to go back into the room multiple times, and hopefully they're playing different things that you can get to hear.
You have a very short period of time to engage with the audience, and some people are not going to listen to what they are looking for, and they're going to just walk away.
Right.
So that's another factor. There are many factors in these trade shows, and anyways, it's worth it. It's worth for the person visiting, and it's worth for the person exhibiting. And I have nothing but respect for everybody who got to present their products there, because I know how much hard work is involved, as you mentioned before.
Well, first of all, I want to thank all of you who have subscribed to the channel and watched the channel. I know it starts really slow, and I mean, I'd like to have a lot of viewers and whatever. I know it doesn't happen, but I want to thank you for participating with us. And if you do have any comments or people that you would be interested in seeing interviewed, please add them to the comment sections, or if you know how to get in touch with me through my webpage or Veronica through hers, we certainly appreciate it. I can only promise you that we have a whole bunch of really successful and interesting high-end people that are lined up, people that I know that their companies sell a lot of product and are very well respected in the industry, that we hope to have. And as we go through the summer into the fall, I think you'll start to see a whole bunch of regular postings, and it should be fun.